Welcome to week 2 of the WTF. I'm your host Chase, aka Chase Talks, and this week your Gary Southshore Raikous are going to be taking on the Gotham Golbats. Here's my roster, in case you forgot. And here's his. Running down his team, it's Mega Diancie, Latios, Bisharp, Mienshao, Mantine, Delphox, Kecleon, Vikavolt, Crobat, Mamoswine, and Nidoking. Now the first Pokemon we're going to be bringing this week will be Mega Beedrill, our B-Drive. Kinda standard here, we're running Poison Jab, Drill Run, Knockoff, U-Turn. Just enough speed to outspeed his fastest Pokemon, which is his Crobat. And the rest in HP and physical attack. Next is going to be my boys Strike Twice, our Zapdos. Bringing a bulky Zapdos this week, leftovers, static, and discharge, trying to get those paralysis. Hidden Power Steel for his Mega Diancie, Heat Wave, and Roost for coverage. And for healing, we're going to run a little bit of defense investment, actually a lot of defense investment. A Bold Nature, 252 HP with a little bit of special attack to hit a little bit harder. Next is going to be QB, our Alolan Ninetales. We're running Light Clay again, Blizzard, Moonblast, Dark Pulse for Aurora Veil. We're going to make those Aurora Veils last a long time. Just enough speed to outspeed his Delphox, with the rest in HP and max special attack, Timid Nature. Next will be the other half of our Hail Core. We're bringing an Icium Z Sonic, the Alolan Sandslash. Max HP, max speed. The downside to this with the Jolly Nature, I can't outspeed Scarf Latios, which I was pretty worried about going into this match, but I really wanted to bring Snow this week. I don't know why I wanted to bring the Hail so bad, but I really wanted to bring it. Icicle Crash, Iron Head, Earthquake. It does a lot of damage against his Mega Diancie if he brings it. Next, I'm going to be bringing our Commander Adama, our Terrakion. I'm going Choice Scarfed this week. Just enough speed to outspeed everything I can that's Scarfed, with a lower base speed than me, and everything that's just going to be naturally faster than me without a Scarf. Jolly Nature, 252 HP, Rex than HP. This kind of hits everything hard on his team. Really hoping to kind of take out a Nidoqueen before it puts in too much damage. And last but not least, we got Lord Slug, our Gastrodon. Storm Drain with an Aguave Berry, one of the 25% berries. Ice Beam, Scald, Toxic Recover. It's a mixed defenses wall. It's kind of meant to just kind of block his entire team. Hopefully give me a switch in to kind of anything he wants to do without taking a Grass Tack and just getting kind of laid out by one. Alright, so there's our team. Now let's hop into the battle. Now, I pondered over my lead a lot for this match. I did decide to lead the Terrakion, and I see that he leads in his Nidoqueen. Now, I thought a lot about this first move. I ended up just going for an Earthquake here, just kind of trying to put damage on it and kind of seeing what comes in, even though he could switch in the Crobat. He does decide to stay in, and I do see the Shuka Berry. So I knew I wasn't going to do a ton of damage here. I wasn't going to really get a ton of intel about his set. I could see it was kind of bulky, but I really didn't know how much bulk investment there. And it does hit me with the Earth Power. I was kind of worried about that too. I take a lot of damage, but it isn't enough to kill me. So I still don't have a ton of info about his set. He decides to switch out here and go into his Grayson, which is his Crobat. I just went for another Earthquake, trying to go for the KO, and it does waste my turn. Here I do decide to switch out, and I go into Strike Twice, which is my Zapdos. Trying to kind of scout out what he does. He does go for the U-turn, so I take a little bit of damage there, not too bad. Static does activate, which is pretty awesome for me. It does paralyze his Crobat, dropping that speed tier down and really helping out a lot of my mons. He goes into Man Bear Pig, which is his Mamoswine. Now, I was scared to death of this Mamoswine. I was calcing in the middle of the battle, and I found out it ripped through my team. I kind of oversighted that a little bit. I didn't realize that I was so Mamoswine weak. So I just go ahead and switch into Lord Slug here, and he goes for an Icicle Crash. Now, I don't take this well at all. It does crazy damage to me. It does way over half HP. So that wasn't good. I go ahead and switch out because I don't want to take two of those. I don't want to lose Lord Slug this early. So I switch into QB to take the attack a little bit better. Here, even though I am putting up the snow, so he's going to get a boost on this attack. Here, I wasn't really sure what he was going to go for. I thought he would probably switch into his Delphox here, or maybe go for the KO. I'm just going to go ahead and set up my Aurora Veil, and he does end up switching into his Delphox. So I get that Aurora Veil up. That's really going to help me out, I think, at this time to really half those damages. So I did speed creep Delphox, so I'm going to go ahead and try and attack it. I found out here that it's scarfed and it does land the Fire Blast, which is unfortunate, so I lose the QB right here. I wasn't planning on losing it this early, but I do. So here I'm kind of forced to go into my Sonic. Now, I do have this ICMZ here. I did see that was a guaranteed kill, but Earthquake I also was a roll in my favor, so I tried to go for that. He ends up living, which is super unfortunate that I get a low roll there, and he does Fire Blast. Now I do avoid that, and he ends up dying to the hail, so the Hex kind of get evened out right there, which is good for me, not as good for him. He does send out his Nido Queen here. I'm just going to go for an Icicle Crash. I should have went for ICMZ again, and I was still holding it, because that would have been a guaranteed kill. It ends up being a really bulk invested Nido Queen, and I lose the hail here. Unfortunate part is I do also lose the speed boost, and that was my only chance to get the speed boost. So I go ahead and send out Zapdos, expecting him to go for Earth Power, just take out my Sonic. He doesn't, and he sets up Stealth Rocks, which isn't good for my team. And I don't have any way to remove those, unfortunately, this week, since I did decide to run Static. He switches right into his Mamoswine. I went for a Heat Wave, which was kind of a good middle ground play, I thought, to kind of get some damage on anything that came in. He does Earthquake here, expecting me to switch. I don't, and I go for the Hidden Power Steel, which I ran for his Diancie. It does almost take him out, so another one of those is going to kill him. He does switch out here to not die, and since he's locked into that, since I knew at that time point that he was Scarf or Banded, he does end up being Banded. I go for the Hidden Power Steel and do take out his Nidoqueen, which is good for me. I don't want to mess with that Nidoqueen. My Aurora Veil wears out here, which is very unfortunate. He switches into his Fu Manchu and goes for Stone Edge. I take that not extremely well, and I think I go for Discharge here. I do go for Discharge here, just trying to kind of put some damage on this thing and see if I can get a Paralysis. I don't get the Paralysis, so I'm kind of in an unfortunate position here. I kind of don't want to take any damage from this Mienshao on anything. I go ahead and switch into my least valuable member in my mind, which is my Sonic here. Without the hail, there's not much that he can do, since he's not going to be really outspeeding anything. He does skillfully dodge that Stone Edge, which helps me out, but a Drain Punch here is going to be all she wrote for my Sonic. Unfortunate for Sonic, he couldn't go fast. He had to go fast, but he can't go fast. So he faints out. I think I did click the ICMZ that time, actually. So I switch into my B Drive here. I know that a Poison Jab's going to KO, and that at this point I know it's not Scarf because it did switch moves. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Poison Jab. He does switch in his Crobat, which kind of hard walls my Beedrill set that I did bring this week. So it's going to take this Poison Jab really well. It's actually a really bulky Crobat, and at this point I was really worried about what exactly I was going to do against Crobat. I really was kind of losing my answers to Crobat at this time with both of my ice types down, and Zapdos had a really low amount of health. I do go ahead and U-turn here to get the extra damage off and kind of pick up the momentum and kind of see what he's going to go for. I do switch into my Lord Slug here, hopefully trying to get knocked down in my Agua Berry range. He does U-turn and does a tremendous amount of damage, crit me, but I don't die, so I do get my Agua Berry off, which restores a lot of health. I really needed that health, so that was good for me. He does switch straight into his Overdrive here. I thought he could have his Energy Ball here. My mindset was just that I'm going to sack Lord Slug at this point. He agilities, kind of trying to set up for the sweep. I do click Toxic here just in case I lived one Energy Ball, but So I get that off, which was really good since he's trying to set up inside my face. Here I go for a recover to try and recover stall him in case I would live an attack from this thing, and he agilities again. So it does, I do get the recover off, and it does bring me up to full HP here. And this turn, I just go ahead and click the Scald. I know he's going to attack me this turn. We'll see what he uses. So just kind of put damage on this thing. He does go for the energy ball. I am very tanky, so I do take that not very well at all, but I live on 4 HP. That was probably a low roll for him. This is just the roll fest. And he does take poison damage. That poison damage is really starting to rack up. He's taking a lot from that. I am just going to sack Lord Slug here. He goes for Bug Buzz, probably thinking that he's just going to hit anything if I tried to switch out and save this thing. But with Stealth Rocks up and me having no way of removing him, I had no intention of switching out since I was going to be sacking whatever I switched in here. I end up switching in Strike twice here. I don't want to have to sack Zapdos because it's my only answer to Crobat, but I really don't see anything else. I really had it in my mind that my one way of winning this match was with my B-Drive, even though there really wasn't a good way that B-Drive could handle his Crobat. He Gigavolt habits here, probably to secure the kill or just to do the style points since he's going to die of poison this turn anyway. And that's probably more so the second than the first. So Zapdos goes down here, and Lord Slug does pick up its first KO of the season with its poison. So it stops the Vikavolt sweep, which is good. I don't go from getting sweeping week 1 to getting swept by a Vikavolt week 2. Here I send in Terrakion. I really couldn't send anything else. I knew this was coming in. If it was priority here and if it was Scarfed instead of Banded, was what I was hoping for. It is Banded. It does have priority. I lose Adama here. Unfortunately, I send in my B-Drive. If B-Drive can live an Ice Shard, it can kill this thing and stop it from being a 3-0. It does use the Ice Charge again. I can't take it, so I do lose right there. GG to my opponent. He played really well. I didn't play as well, and honestly I could have brought probably a better team. I was too much, I think, infatuated with actually bringing the Hail this week, and I really shouldn't have brought the Hail. I don't actually think it matched up as good with his team as I thought it did. So, and I probably should have brought a Alola instead of Gastrodon, so I could take those Ice-type moves from the Banded Mamoswine a little bit better, since Mamoswine kind of ripped apart my team. But you live, you learn. We're going to go back. We're going to hit way stronger week 3. Week 3's battle is going to be going up pretty quickly after this one, since this one is going up about a week late, but who's counting? So if you liked this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe if you never want to miss another battle in the WTF.